Hello. I had to make sure. I had to make sure. I had to make sure. Okay, let's roll the intro.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The pinky and the brain. Yes, the pinky and the brain. One is a genius, the other is insane. The laboratory mice, the dreams of the slice. The pinky
each night is done, your plan will be unfurled by the dawning of the sun. Will overthrow the earth. The pinky and the brain.
Men. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Unintentional Juror podcast. I hope that you guys like that little intro here. I shout out to Roy Lossinger for actually he made the comparison of what did he even say? Sorry. What did he even say? I think he made a comparison that Robert Tellers looked like Pinky. Hey, random girl. I hope you are well. The best mod in the place. Welcome, everyone that are here. So yeah, I hope that you like that little intro because we have a lot to cover today. And to be honest, I'll be very honest. I just want to address one thing very, very quickly because I know I put it out there that this is going to be a Robert Tells all kind of thing but unfortunately I was unable to actually get to see his testimony. I did complete day 1 to day 5. I actually assumed that on day 5 we would have actually got to see the testimony, but it didn't happen. So I only have day 2 to day 5 to discuss, or I think we discussed all of day 1. But it's just I'll be going through all of my notes that I've been making watching this as an unintentional juror, I should say, but not unintentional juror, not in that kind of sense, just in a way as if I would be a juror actually in there watching. I'll be very honest, I am quite embarrassed because I think there are some moments that I'm watching this trial and I'm like, bear in mind when I do watch, I actually do put my phone away. I actually don't I actually don't go on my phone, and I'm usually on my phone when it's break time. But it's difficult following. It's difficult, man. I'm going to tell you. Like, I drift out some parts that I'm like, why am I drifting out here? My mind just naturally goes on a little squirrel hunt, and yeah, it's so. I have whatever. I'll be honest. I have seen a clip of apparently Robert Tellers was arguing in his diary or something like that, which I disregarded. But of course I saw it, and I think it was a lawyer stream. I didn't watch it, but I saw the title and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe that's what we have to look forward to, which is why this stream is called the money waters that we're about to get into with Robert Tellers. It turned out to be quite a fitting title. It wasn't the intention, I'll be honest, but it turned out to be a fitting title. Shout out to everyone that are here. Melissa Simuk, I got that right this time. No more of that. The minute I started this with the technical difficulties not being a problem, I said, yeah, I knew this was gonna be a good stream, and I'm probably not gonna call people schmucks. Not like last stream. PBMC, thank you so much for tuning in. Says, oh boy, Lil Boss Baby is a hot mess. How are ya? I had to bounce for a bit last night, and now I've got to finish watching. Hope you're having a great day. I'm having a great day too. Thank you so much. I could have actually started the testimony, so maybe this was fate, but. After I had finished designing the process and all of that, and I was what happened? I think I was about to do the intro, and I just had a mental block. I just had to go. My body told me, my head told me, look, listen, I've given you 30 hours this week. How many hours have I worked? That could have been it. Let me actually look at how many hours I've got logged in here. That actually could have been it, because I was wondering why did I just get a mental block out of nowhere. I was fine. I woke up at a good time. I was ready for the day, and then all of a sudden, boom. So, how many hours did I actually work this week? This is unimportant. I'm just squirrel. I'll be back. 1 second. I need to decide. 33 hours. So, my brain told me I gave you 33 hours. So there's no way we are gonna go for what you're trying to do today. I'm going to be an enemy of progress, and it was. So unfortunately, I didn't get that walk turned out to be for like 5 hours. I walked for 10 miles, 8 to 10 miles roughly, and never felt so much like so clear, man. Like legit cleared my head completely. But I can't wait. So, but of course that came at a cost because that meant I didn't get to watch his testimony. But the good news is for next week's Unintentional Juror podcast, that you can definitely expect a laser-like focus on just. I can't wait to see what notes come out of this. But in regards to the last few days, hopefully I've gathered all the notes I have. Oh, Heinz. Next time, put page numbers. Oh, God. Oh, this doesn't help at all. What's the point of having notes if you can't even like, that's okay. I'm going to have to try and go by, okay, this is day 3. So you're going over there. Day 3 is going over here. I did actually put the days on, which is good. Gosh, okay, you know what? It's going to be very unstructured. I do apologize, but I'll try and fix it in the title. Everyone's laughing at me. Stop it! Melissa is just laughing at me. But yeah, I'm gonna go through each and every one of this to see which one I've got, and then damn, that doesn't help because some of these have jury questions on it. And I'm like, oh, but I need the context for that jury question. So I'm going to do my best to see. Let me just start and see. And like, hopefully. Oh, damn. I really messed my. One of the most annoying things I just realized is, that saying you shot yourself in the foot. I didn't even realize that page number. Why do I underestimate things like this? I actually didn't think page numbers would have been important. Ouch! That's actually what wow. Did not actually see such a small thing become an actual big deal. Oh, damn. Well, the good news is though, for day 5, I do have that proper, and I have a lot to say for day 5, especially with the psychologist and the witness that came back to testify. All right, let's go. So bear with me. I will try and fix this on the titling, on the timestamp, so that you know which day we are in. So it might go from day 5 to day 2. Not day 5 to day 2. Day 5 would definitely be last because that's just one page. That's just one 2-sided page. Ignore the whole. How did that even happen? I actually don't know how this happened. But ignore the whole. But day 5 is definitely going to be last. But for all of this, I'll try and figure out the rest of the day. So you guys will stop laughing at me. The good news is you're not a control freak like Tellus. Oh, that's a good thing. Maybe it might do me some good if I was to do the devil's advocacy and defend him then. Okay, so this is day 3. It says Anastasia Barton is day 3, and this is on the next page. So most likely Melanie Korzeniowicz is day 2, and she is the forensic scientist for LVPD. Now, I don't know how this is gonna go, so I'm not gonna read Anastasia. I'm gonna assume that the detectives, the real estate guy. Actually, that might be day 3. The day 3 guy might be real estate. I'm gonna actually assume that the detectives, this guy called Yagi, and all of that is all day 2. Detectives and all of that is all day 2 to day 4. I just need to find day 4 now. I can't find day 4. It's here somewhere then. It's gotta be here somewhere. Good news is I've learned from this. Oh yeah, I'm definitely. This is the humbling of a lifetime. I'm definitely gonna put page numbers. Okay, I heard you, mom. Okay, mom. All right. Don't come at me. Don't come at me. I hear you. I'll put page numbers on. Let's go. Okay, let's start with Melanie, and then we're gonna go left, and then we come back to the right. Anyway, she like I said, she is the forensic scientist. Let me try and record and rejog my memory from her testimony. I didn't really pick much from her. It's just that the DNA had 2 negatives for blood, and she testified to see what I mean, like positive, presumptive for blood. So fair to say I drifted out of this one because all of this, I guess they were trying to establish the whole DNA thing that was going on. And I get the whole, maybe their whole procedure and how they determine what belongs to who, because they did say that they found something that belonged to Tellez on the fingernails of the, if I'm remembering correctly, other jurors. Remind me, because you guys are my other jurors. So talk to me here. If I am getting something wrong, I am your brother in this case. I'm joking. But yeah, no. I am your fellow juror. So make sure you correct me, because my notes here are not great. Not for this witness. But on cross-examination, I think the point was raised that there could have been a false negative with the blood from other species. So she didn't receive much info from them for the shoes. Okay, cool. That jogged a bit on my memory. So basically, I remember this being an issue because they were trying to, I think it was something to do with blood samples, and they were going by a population, and I think they were just trying to narrow it down to Tellez. And the false negatives is what is being highlighted. So they did find 2 negatives in the blood, and the cross here would have been by the defense, and a false negative. So I don't know what a negative actually means for blood, but I remember that it was specified that different species have different type of they would come up as a negative anyway on the thing, or something like that. Are you gonna pronounce his name correctly or use Tellez like the court did even after they corrected him? Tay-Iz. Oh, I didn't even know. Tay-Iz is how he says it's to be pronounced. The court obviously didn't care. Oh my gosh. Oh, I feel bad for him now. Oh, you're making me go in a bit more with a bit more sympathy. I'm big on names. Okay, so in that case, if it's Tay-Iz, in that case, Alex Tay-Iz. That actually makes sense. Is he Argentinian? That sounds Argentinian. I mean, sounds like a Hispanic. I don't know. I don't know anything. So let me move on redirect. He says just clarification of so on redirect, my note says it was just clarification on collection of evidence pertaining to the hat and shoes. So how they found it being slashed, etc. Did they slash it or did Tellez do it, basically? So I did think that I remember this, and I did think that the prosecution did a perfect job in actually showing that, in making sure that they showed the before and after pictures, because that's just how they found it in the bag. That's just how they found it. So there was no sign here of tampering or in a way trying to like alter the evidence that they had against Tellez. So I thought that little technique that they did help them. I'm gonna move on to the next witness here, and her name is Kimberly Dannenberger. This is Kimberly Dannenberger. She is a forensic scientist. Okay, so my notes on her for direct exam was she's able to look for the unique properties to ascertain the correct DNA profile. She did part of the lab processing. Okay, I was definitely awake this time, this period, because this is detailed. Anyway, she did part of the lab processing, but not part of the original report was made around DNA 40.9 septillion. I actually didn't know what septillion means. I actually, I was hoping, please just ask this question so that I know what septillion would mean in a metric kind of. I don't know. I can put something, but just saying 40.9 septillion. I don't know what am I gonna do with that. But anyway, more likely it's more from Tejas than a stranger. This was sunbed. This was swan. Okay, I can't read that. Handwriting. This was swan bed from German fingernails. Oh, this was swabbed. This was swabbed from German fingernails. Oh, yeah. Jeff Sherman. Just put J. Okay. New rule. Let me write this down. Flipping heck. Where's my... Oh. Guys, guess just what's happened. Can't find my pens anywhere. That helps. Okay, I'll remember it. But yeah, just right. I'm definitely gonna have to put I'm definitely gonna have to initial their first name whenever I do that. Anyway, because I actually thought that was a country. Anyway, 1.34 octillions times more likely from Tejas. No DNA from Herman in the Yukon due to insufficient. Okay, I don't know what I was meant to write after insufficient. So. Yeah, but based on everything here that I recall from the direct, it seems like the numbers that they were giving out here seems to have a high correlation with, like, they basically means they have, in my opinion, the impression seems that they have a high degree of certainty that it's Tejas, even though I may not understand what the language actually may entail. Let me go to the chat quickly. Phoebe MC says it does sound Hispanic if it's pronounced that way. I don't think this witnesses pronounced it other than Tejas. Oh. No, yeah, you're right, because in Spanish, the actual native Spanish, it's ya, vaya, like what's the word? Let me think of a word. Plantilla. Yeah, exactly. So plantilla would be a screen or something. I don't know, background or something. So when you say that word, that'll be yeah. So I think you're right about the Hispanic one, because I know Spanish, like the original. So this one, yeah, I think it's most likely from an Hispanic background. So let me go on. If in cross-examination, I don't know why I put 166 here, but in cross-examination, Kimberly agrees that DNA can be collected from a small sample, and also agrees that blood and saliva are the main 3 building blocks of like a DNA profile. So she basically agrees that this is all you need. It was just to preliminaries to just ensure that accuracy is that accuracy and reliability was part of the investigation. The reason why I say that is because I just recalled how much they were stressing the change of custody over, and I remember that being a very central theme, and that immediately made me think of the current retrial, because like I said before, this case is perfect. Right, this case is actually perfect in terms of the pure fact of you have a good defense, in my opinion, for conspiracy, and you also have a great strategy of attack here. Like this prosecution, for all intents and purposes, have been brutal. They have been really good in presenting that case. They've been thorough. There are so many techniques that I've noticed that I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even notice that. So whenever Alex Dragovna, the lawyer. So whenever he finishes his cross, what they would tend to do is that they will call back, they will go back on and then just go through the procedures again and go through what they found. To me, that's just, hey, it's like, I know they're saying conspiracy, but just remember, this is what the Cubs did on the day. So that impression, that always left that impression with me that I need to always remember why, because when it comes to them presenting their case, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go there, and I need to, and I'm pretty much just looking for the holes. And we're gonna get to that because there were some things that I noticed that were like, okay, this does look a bit shaky, and I don't think the prosecution cleaned up a bit of it. But I think not. That's not for day 5. I think that's more of in day 4 or day 3, because I think it was. I'll jog my memory. I'll jog my memory when I get there. But nonetheless, the jury did actually ask questions. I picked up the wrong one. My bad. That's day. Wait. I don't know what day this belongs to. I think this was next. Okay, this was next. Okay, I picked up the wrong one. Okay, so the jury did ask a question, and whenever this happens, I usually just let the stream run. So if I miss anything, tough, can't help it. Even if I miss the name, I know that at one point the name will be put onto the screen anyway, so I don't really bother. But when it comes to the jury questions, I actually do pause for this one because it's like, it's us talking. So of course I'm gonna pause and make sure that I get all the information that's. Sorry, I pause only for the question, but the actual I let it run as if it was live, so that when I get the answers, I can just write down as I receive. So anyway, point is, the jury asked, did they open the toolbox? And answer was, did they open the toolbox? And the answer to this question was no. And it came out that the items had to be moved to reach the bag. So it was established that they didn't open the toolbox. And the prosecution, based on these are the notes I have, the prosecution was arguing after they had answered that question, after the witness, which would be Kimberly in this case, had answered that question. The prosecution went on to add additional commentary or additional, I don't know whatever that's called. It says it establishes that the garage was messy and they had to go in and move items to find the bag. So this is what I was referring to, and I'm glad that the jury actually asked this question. Let me read the defense and then I'll go back to it and just comment. So the defense says, my notes for the defense, and they established that the picture was taken after the bag was already recovered. So there was nothing the prosecution can do there, and they didn't do anything at all, to be honest. And to be honest, I think that's what I was referring to. They did a good job, the prosecution, but that moment I think was crucial for at least a sign of a sign of corruption or a setup. There was also the deleted body cam, which is on day 5. We are going to get to that, but they did address that, and I have some thoughts. But this particular evidence, and compounded with that, pardon me, and I know a lot of people think he's guilty, but pardon me for being a bit, okay, let me see how this plays out, because I've seen this with Karen Reed. Again, like I said in the previous one that Karen Reed, it has so many mistakes that it had to be a cover-up. There's just too many mistakes. But in this case, I need the same mistakes to occur, because a cover-up is never perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is this airtight. So if it's airtight, for me, that means the prosecution have their case. I don't care. You can scream if you want and say and produce enough cause to argue this. But if there's no mistakes by anybody, I think you just may be arguing something different. It is basically what I would say. So when I considered all of that, and the testimony, I don't think that the defense did a good job in even like trying to clean this up and even trying to like set the context to show that maybe they didn't have to take the pictures or this and that, but that's the truth. If they took the pictures before and after, that would have really saved them. Like, it really would have like covered this and made it airtight, but they didn't, which is enough to be like, well, you don't have proof that you didn't move it. And to me, some juries may look at that and be like, yo, okay, yeah, I don't think he did this. And again, I will always favor the defense as well. They have its due process. I will always believe that they're innocent until proven guilty, always. So yeah, I'm always gonna err on their side and be like, okay, cool, present, like, let's hear you out. So that's that done. Let's go to the next one. It's here, I think. Yes, bring that in here. Direct. Nope, that's another thing. So that should be here. So this one should be. 1 second, bear with me, guys. Let me just Bear with me. I do apologize. I know that it's a bit disjointed this stream, but definitely next stream, I see big things happening. I see I see a change on the horizon. Okay, so we're gonna go. So this is day 3. I would still assume, or day 2, whichever one. But I'll get a name and then I find out what day they were in. So, but this is Kristen Riffle, and she was working in real estate. So she was a close friend with Tellers, and her testimony did perk me up. I was actually awake for this one. I didn't even need to read it. I know I was awake because it was actually very interesting what was coming out. So my notes were for the direct exam was she was working with Zach Schilling. Zach Schilling was the one that was very precise in just knowing the trainer, right? And they were also dating at one point. So she obviously has some affinity with Zach for the experience, but I do think, despite of that, she was actually very objective. And she also says that they joked on the day of the murder that I bet Tellers did that. And then when the video and all of the pictures were released to the public by the LV court, by Crime Stoppers, let me just put it like that because I keep hearing that. That's when she said that she was a bit scared, and it's not Teyes. It's not and basically that it could have been Teyes. She testified that Rob's car was identified by them and they were mystified, and she said that they should consider calling the police. So this is when Zach called the police. It was from her. So basically when the Yukon was identified, and it was obviously GMC, then yeah. So the reason why this stood out to me, and before going across, I really do want to make this point on this direct. The reason why this stood out to me is because having somebody. This is why I want to make sure that I stress this point again in regards to conspiracies. There is this fallacy, this strawman argument that no one ever makes, that if someone alleges conspiracy, that means that everyone is in it. I don't know whether that's a strawman fallacy or it's like a slippery slope or whatever, but I heard that so much in Karen Reed, and I just think that they did that to her because she was just an easy target or something like that. She was just a poster child. Like, she was already getting disrespected by Proctor, so it was just fair, apparently to everyone, it was just fair game to just throw everything at her. But the truth is, you don't need everybody to be in a cover-up. How are you going to say that Kristen is in a cover-up too, or Zach is in a cover-up? Of course they're not. They're clearly not. They can't be. Why? Because these are just witnesses. If someone is planning a cover-up, it's just 1 or 2 people. And then they just know how to set things into motion. That's it. Why on earth did people actually believe that you need a whole crowd? That's stupid as fuck. If you want to plan your cover-up like that, you go ahead and you do that. But I have never seen... I don't even have to see it. It just doesn't make sense at all. Like, just use your common sense for a second. Like, really and truly, if you're planning to like frame somebody, why would you involve people? Why wouldn't you go through yourself and just try to manipulate people along the way? I'm not saying you should go and do that, by the way. I'm just saying it seems like a more effective strategy. The cross-exam, nothing really, I wrote down saying nothing really, nothing of note except, oh, I'm really parched. One second. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. I can't stop drinking water, man. Oh, Lord. Been drinking water since, like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, cross-exam, basically, sorry about that. So basically, nothing of note actually stood out, except just the clarification of the nature of the relationships with all of the 3. So, again, it was a nothing burger. And on redirect, it was established that Zach was very observant, and at the office they were focused on the shoes. So this corroborates Zach's story. It doesn't really mean much. Hey Rosalind, thank you so much for joining. I hope this does give you like an idea of the case. Don't worry, I'm gonna do a Heinz report on this anyway and post it up. It should be out next week. It's just gonna be transferring my notes onto the report so that you guys can see what a potential juror may have been thinking in the courtroom, and what, and these questions, some maybe you might actually see why these questions come about from my notes, because some of these questions were brilliant by the jury. I'm like, whoa, you guys are really going in with this case. So I really love the jury in this case because they are asking really good questions, which is good for me, especially on day 5. What I saw with the question with the psychologist, to me, that shows that the jury actually does take his case seriously. They just want to understand the motives behind all of this. So that to me is a very good sign of a healthy jury that actually might actually give this guy a fair shot. Now, if you have seen his testimony, don't fry me yet. I don't know what's happened. I haven't seen it. Don't fry me. I haven't seen it yet. I stopped on day 5. Literally the first woman that was called, that saw something at the park or something like that. I think Maya something was recalled or some. I don't know. She was in the first week or something like that. Something, and she was recalled. That's the last thing I saw. So I'm gonna get to that, but yeah, like the jury are taking this case absolutely seriously. Yep, Patty B says, yep, you are correct. You don't need a lot of people, just a handful to be honest, and others to be influenced. Absolutely. It just makes more sense. It's just optimal. Like, why on earth would you try and involve a gang? That makes, like, I mean, to be quite fair, if you think about it, maybe this is how this RICO charges might actually disappear. If you actually, like, everyone just acted as if that they're an entity but move as a unit or something like that, and just keep everyone out. The reason why RICO works is because you guys can't conspire on your own for some reason. I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm trying to be pure BS. I don't know anything about this. But yeah, let me read one more chat, and then I'm gonna go back into the jury question here. Phoebe MC says that's I think where the issues came in for Karen Reed, but it really wasn't that many people but it really wasn't that many people involved in that case. I maintain that it was only Brian Albert, the one that actually had to go to me, that's to me, I don't know about you, I don't know where on earth, but no one from that case presented his timesheet, and I was shocked. That was the one part that I was shocked about. I was like, wait, you have this guy going at a random trip to the thing. I may have missed it, but you have a random trip to the police station randomly this night when this guy is already dead, by the way. You just happened to go to work. But I was hoping, okay, they might bring in his timesheet, his usual business hours, like try and show how. But that didn't happen, and that would have really helped me, because to me that to me, in my opinion, was why I think he's a cover up, and then Jen McCabe. Everyone else, stay just listening to those two, and those two are just giving them whatever they want to hear. It's just that simple. Nobody, like if you guys want to do your cover ups like that, you guys can go ahead, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Let's go back into the jury questions. So the jury asked her who told her regarding the vehicle, and it was confirmed that it was Zach Nahum. So that's sorry, not Zach Nahum. It was Zach Schilling. Sorry, it's not Zach Nahum. Nahum is the next witness, who is the homicide LAPD detective. I think we're gonna move on to the detectives on here. So not bad for working on my feet. I'm getting the transitions correctly. So I definitely know that all of the detectives are coming up next. So I'm definitely getting the transitions correct. Yeah. Is his name Higgins? Yeah, yeah. Not Brian Albert. I mean, the bot dialing is one thing, but I just think the bot dialing is just. I think the bot dialing. To be honest, I can easily explain that away. I think the bot dialing is interesting in the sense that yes, they got a call from the office from Brian Higgins to Brian Albert, and they were and you know and he was claiming that they were, him and his wife were having sex, blah blah. The bot dialing and all that. I actually believe that happened, but it's not for what he said. I personally think what could have happened in that scenario is Brian just called him by accident. Like, he didn't mean to call. He probably just pressed the wrong person to call, and then he called him, and then he picked up, and he's like, oh. And then they just going into a small talk. I think that's more likely. And then they drop the phone, and that's it. I think that's likely, and I think it's even more likely because if they go into court and they realize, oh shoot, like, then it becomes Brian Albert's best interest to protect their friends, because they just realize, oh shoot, I just realized what's happened. Because to me, it just seems like it can't, like, I don't think Brian Albert, like, what is his actual role? Like, I can see why Higgins is involved, because he has to kind of like go and try and make sure that the camera is taken out that bit. I can see how someone can orchestrate that from his role going into work. I can see that. But I can also see how Jen McCabe, because she's the one that would most likely be luring Brian. We saw the text messages. We saw all of that. That's just evidence alone. So that to me that's the mistake I was looking for. I'm like, this is a mistake. This is not actually, Brian Albert wasn't a plan. He's not part of the plan. It doesn't seem to me anyway. It seems more like just Higgins and Jen. They have more of an interest just based on everything that just happened. They have more of an interest to manipulate things. Brian Albert is the owner of the house too, though. Pretty sure he had to know. No, a murder, like, no. I don't think he had to know. I think something can happen in your house like that, and you don't know anything. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way. It's just an alternate theory. It's just an alternate, because I'm just trying to, like, maybe is he the ringleader because it's at his house and he's just trying to cover it up? Could be. 3 people is not actually out of the norm or even out of the ordinary. It's actually possible. If you're trying to sell me that it's more than 3, I think that's when we're gonna be like, okay, you need to press pause, because even I don't trust people that much to even let in like that in my day-to-day life, let alone a frame job. And you're telling me that you're gonna trust more than 3 people? I don't know about you, man. But Phoebe says, but Tay is fairly straightforward. I don't know who's Tay. Am I missing something? Okay, I don't. Let me read this. I don't agree with you, Arida Coles. I don't think they had to handle crap because they both testified differently everywhere. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Their testimony was clashing, but the reason why I say they had to handle it is because we have to remember they know Karen left. They know. So it's just they know that there is a proof of her leaving and timestamp and everything. That's why I'm like, that's a bit weird that he's making that trip. So to me, I'm like, that's enough of a motive for Brian Higgins. That's enough of a motive for Jen McCabe, just based on evidence alone. But you've brought up a good point in regards to the ownership of the house with Brian Higgins. So he could have a vested interest in making sure that both of them get this job done. He could be the one even manipulating, being like, look, listen, buddy, do you want to lose your job? Jen, I will stop being your friend. I don't know. It could be that easy. Literally. So you could be right. I actually think you could be right on that one. Let me go back to Detective Nahum. So this is Detective Nahum, and his direct exam was when they went to investigate Tayez. Now, guys, make sure you press hit the like button so that we can get the algorithm up and running. I know that there's 4 of you here. Maybe so we are doing this times from now on from 6 o'clock, which is UK time, but 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I think it's because of the instability of just knowing what times we are doing on here. People don't really know. But definitely from now on, every Sunday from 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we are live. 1 p.m. Eastern Time every Sunday. That doesn't change. That's across the board. So you have something to look forward to. If you can't make it, that's unfortunate. If you can, we'd love to have you. But you know, and we'll be doing, we'll be going through this. Oh, I hit the camera by accident. So direct exam. Oh yeah. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. The mods will be posting that in the mods should be posting that in the thing in the chat so that you guys can have the relevant links to help support the channel and know about this. I know about what we do on here. So Detective Nahum, who does homicide for the LVPD. Where's my towel? Oh gosh, I should have brought my towel. Anyway, on direct exam, my notes state that when they went to investigate Tellez, he had placed the shoe under the shoe. He also observed inside his house a bag with shredded textiles. So shoe under the shoe. Okay, I don't know what I meant by that. Unfortunately, I can't remember if they had asked about the colors of the shredded item. The shoe has been identified as a Nike, the same that Zach had saw, which is very interesting, very, very interesting. That was very interesting for me, I'm not gonna lie. The items in the bag were shown they had gone through what he wore. They got gone through what he wore, and this basically, based on the direct exam, they had done enough to establish that it would have been very hard to infiltrate this investigation and alter it in any way, based on what I remember from the direct exam, because I remember them trying to trip up. I wouldn't say they were trying to trip up, but they were trying to show how there were other people there, and they're trying to show how some of them may not even been authorized. I think Detective Jappy was even was mentioned a lot when it comes to how he was moving around this to kind of get the idea of there being a conspiracy. Sorry, I derailed him. You guys didn't mean to. No, you didn't. You didn't derail me. I'm very passionate. I wanted to say that all through Karen Reed, but I wasn't covering it like this. Neither did I launch this podcast like that. I was just trying to like think of the concept of this podcast while I was watching that, and I kind of got it when I was actually tweeting. I was like, wait a second, this is easier for a video. So I just stopped tweeting. I was like, okay, cool. I'll just do a video on that. I just do this, and that's how this podcast came about. So I need something new to tweet about. So if you guys have ideas on what to tweet about, sure, let me know in the chat, because I need to come up with that now. But yeah, I definitely have this week's show. That's all that matters. Cross exam. This was in an attempt to show that because Tellez gave a commission break, that the dispute taints him, as he was trying to preserve the money. However, he explains that Tellez had not taken his advice and no, wrong way around. No, guys, forget everything I just said now. Forget everything I just said. Okay, so Nahum, forget everything I just said. We'll do Nahum later, because I just realized I read the second page of the first page. This is the first page, and this is another witness that, and I just went into the cross exam thinking was him, but no, it's not. So forget him, forget Nahum for now. Let me try and find his cross if I could find it. Gosh. So for now, wait. For now, don't forget him yet. Don't forget him just yet. Just forget the jurors. Did Detective Nahum have a redirect? Let me know. Or was at least Bradley Freeze? Who was next? No, I don't know. You know what? Let me type into law and crime. Sorry, I'll be quick. I could have just done this from the beginning. Why do I like struggle? Anyway, Detective Nahum, Robert Tellers. What day is that? That would be day. Should be here. Nope, that's not it. Everything is about him taking a stand. No, I don't want that. Okay, I do apologize for this. I think it should be day 3, but let me try Google instead. When did Detective Nahum testify? So that I can at least figure out who's next. Okay, so that was day 4. Day 4. I'm not actually reading what's written here. It's just I'm just trying to find out what's the witnesses. Okay, so he was on day 4. Okay, was Bradley Freeze on day 4? Because that's what I was looking for. Bradley Freeze. If he was, then I know where I'm going. That was no, that wasn't day 5. I don't remember that. I don't remember him being. Okay, so that was day 4 then. All right, it wasn't day 5. It was day 4. Wait, it could be day 3 too. But if it's definitely confirmed that this was day 4 in here, then this is day 4 too. So, okay, so I think I found it here. It says there was a moment that the body cam was off, but due to jurors, let me know. But due to memory, unsure whether this was at the scene. So I think this is. But I just don't know if Nahum did do the cross exam. That's all I don't know. But it would make sense. I did write red. I don't know. This is page numbers. Anyway, I hope that's the case. Oh gosh, I cannot believe this. I hope that's the case though. I hope these are the right notes, but I will definitely double check, and if I do notice the errors, I will put them in the description so that you guys would know where I made the errors. But for now, that is Detective Nahum, and of course, if I do see these errors, I will repeat them on the next stream so that you guys can be at least, be up to date. But for now, let's just assume that this is day 4. And the next witness is Bradley Freeze. So let me just give my opinion on Nahum, because I do remember his testimony. I just don't know. I just hope it's not, my memory has not tainted what is someone else's cross. That's the only thing I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping that Bradley Freeze was next, because if it's day 3 here, then I don't know. Let me actually check. Let me actually double check.
One thing I don't hear enough people talk about when it comes to therapy is the fact
I can watch adverts, so that's good.
It's more intimidating to open up about yourself.
I can watch adverts, so that's good. Okay. So who was on? Melina. This is day 3. So Melanie, Anastasia, Kimberly, Dan. I loved Court TV for this. Oh damn! Save my show. Oh, Brian Freeze was day 3. So this is somebody else's. This is Anthony Marical's witness. So that's day 3. Definitely not supposed to be there. So yes, do disregard Nahum. We're not gonna go into him yet. Now that I do have this Hail Mary that came out of nowhere, let's do this again. So for disregard, we're gonna go back to Nahum. So when we go back to Nahum, we'll correct what we've done here. So sorry about that. Let's keep it rolling. Because so let me look for. I didn't even know that Court TV did this, so I'm gonna start watching you guys from now on. I don't care about that. I'll just start watching that. Save my life. Oh, okay. So let's go into day 2 and see who is there. Zach. Okay, so that's okay. So this is Milligan, Nahum. Okay, now I got the order. Okay, so Nahum, you're back in. We've done Riffle. Now I know who's next. Milligan is next. So this is the right page then. I just turned it the wrong way. If I have my pen, bear with me, guys. I'm not gonna struggle anymore. Let me just grab a pen. Okay, sorry about that. Yes, off to a rough start. I know. So this is day 2, page 1. Two, 3. Wait. Day 2, page 3. Okay. Okay, let's go to the cross. Okay, so this is the accurate cross for Nahum. He basically said he didn't review the general report for the case, established his name isn't the report, despite he is the one testifying that he found these items. So, the fact that he didn't do it himself, I made this note at the time, and I said, this is possibly to say that they had planted those for him. To maybe that because I don't see how his name not on the report is significant. So, basically speaking, the defense has lost me here because I don't know. Again, this is why I say sometimes they come across as not credible because I don't know why they were trying to get this witness. He seemed pretty credible. But the issue in my opinion was not even this witness, because the witness that had to deal with the body cam, that had to make sure that they took the pictures, that's where a lot of the issues are. In redirect, it was established that he was investigating investigating another detective, not Gaddis, but I think someone else. When he was asked if he sees a reference to him, and it in his initial reply, where it says people on the scene, it also says it denotes Lawrence, who has retired, etc. So they were going through the people that were retired, but somehow they were trying to show. I think they were trying to show that. I think from what I remember, they were trying to show that if people that were retired were still having some kind of influence over the case, there is a possibility here of a cover-up. But that was quickly put to bed because they made it clear that all of these people were not actually involved in the case in the redirect. On the recross, it was qualified that he saw the shoe as he looked for the bag whilst they were investigating and canvassing the area. On the redirect, this is just going off. They basically brought back the methods that they had done. This is why I said the prosecution were just burying the defense with just the facts of the case, and they will go back and revisit these facts to basically close off their case. And to be honest, that idea, in my opinion, died here. In my opinion, because I couldn't see it. It seemed like an airtight investigation, and the jury had asked if he was with him. The jury asked him if he was him that vocalized finding the shoe. So he said yeah. So they asked if he was this particular detective that helped him find the shoe. I don't know why the jurors would ask this question, but I think they probably had the same idea I had, because it doesn't because what the defense was trying to do is place two people at the scene. So by asking this question, if he's the one that's vocalizing, he's the one that found it. So that means there's no possibility of it being planted by somebody else, because this guy clearly came out independently. He has no relation to these people that they're trying to establish it with. So that to me was why that seems like it's over. Now let's go on to Detective Milligan. Oh wait, no, this is someone else's. No, that's not page 1. Oh no, I wrote the wrong page number. I wrote the wrong page number. This is probably day something else. It's probably someone else. Okay, so if that was Kirsty Riffle, that means that was Zach Silling's cross exam. That was day 2. Zach. Okay. So, all right. Now that we know definitely where we are at, let's go on to Detective Milligan, who is the next detective up, and I have the notes. I'm gonna go back up to just come back down. So yeah. Pause. I don't know. Anyway, Detective Milligan, during the direct exam, according to my notes, he provided a thorough run through of all their findings and protocols. He established it was established by the prosecution that no one else had authorization to enter during, not even family, just the person that was authorized to be there. Nothing of note came out in cross, and the redirect that nothing was conducted. So it was a pretty confident cross. It was pretty basic and straightforward. John Hoffman was the homicide detective. He established the realtors, citizens, and unauthorized personnel were not at the scene. He also noted that Mr. Tea's wife was present when he was there with them. This is possibly the day that he got arrested and he had potentially committed suicide, but I'm not too sure. But I remember writing that down as something important, because if his wife was there, I have a few thoughts. But moving on. But I don't know, so I might have to disregard his memory. Exhibits were given, including items won by assailant due to the hat. All of this was in his house. Exhibits were given, so they just went through the exhibits that were incriminatory or supposed to be Robert Tellez. Cross-exam, it came out that he was by himself when he found the bag. Confirms crime scene analyst Sming. Sorry, my Sming, I think. I don't know. Took the picture. Jurors, help me out there. What's the name of that person? Anyway, he also tried to charm when the lady detective came and done more. He was not aware if the bag was processed for fingerprints. Did I say charmed? He met to I don't know. I completely forgot. Okay, unreliable. I'm gonna disregard that. I have no idea. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, even though I do have notes here, that little memory has really conflicted my notes here. So I'm gonna have to disregard this, because here where it says redirected, it says confirmed that he only had a huge and asked. My handwriting is not clear enough. I'm gonna have to work on that, but I'm gonna have to disregard everything from cross. The direct exam is all I have, but I don't have anything that I can. No, this is just too messy. I can't do it. So I don't know what John Hoffman's value was, and that's gone now. I can't go back and watch it until this verdict is decided. So what was in the direct exam? Maybe you should hold on to that, because at least I can read that. But the rest, I have no idea what went on there, and my mind wasn't even jogged either. So I know that whatever I heard on that day is tainted now. It's gone. So that's Milligan done. I'm gonna go up to Yagi. I hope I wrote good notes on this and they were clear, because I can't keep disregarding testimonies like this. It's not even fair that. Okay, if I was a juror, don't trust me, man. I think I'm gonna send you to jail, like straight up. Like my notes could actually land you in prison. My notes could, and they're not even, and that's why, because they're not good. I'm gonna be so useless as a juror. Maybe I should get blurred off. Just for giggles, I'm gonna do something. Just for giggles, I'm gonna put this in the chat, guys. 1 second. I'm just gonna put this in the chat, and I'm gonna say, yeah, guys. Based on my performance today, based on my recollection, and performance and recall memory, should an alternate juror step in? Alternate juror step in and I get removed in real life? All right. So let me know. I need to see more. So yeah. So let me know what you guys think. That's the poll up. Based on my recollection and recall memory, should an alternate juror step in and I get removed? Let's see what you guys say. I missed some words in that. I do apologize. I think that's pretty much cemented which side everyone's gonna vote for. So it was nice knowing you. Maybe this is the day that the podcast died. I don't know. No. But let me continue. How long have we been in this? Okay, so we are now an hour in. I want to go on to 1 hour 45. So if we reach 1 hour 45 and we haven't covered all this, we'll move it to the next podcast and we'll provide updates that way. Clifford Mugg was the continued Yagi, Manning, and Zachary. So that's the next people I want to look at. Taylor, that's not here. Oh God, I even think I'm missing some notes. I'm pretty sure I am. Oh, next time just be neat. That's all you have to do. It's not hard. Flipping neck. What the hell? Oh, all right. I think I may have missed a lot of witnesses here, or I just don't have the notes for them. If that's the case, I have to owe the massive L today, like a big one. So I do apologize, guys. Bear with me while I try to pass through all of this and see what I can. So Daniel Cullen's not here, so that goes back here. Daniel Cullen, Lee Kennan is not here either. So that's probably day 3. So for all intents and purposes, I think we just done day 2 today then. Day 2 with Melanie Zavashanich. That was day 3. So we done day 2 and day 3 today, bits. So we're gonna, what we left after is what we're gonna split, all right? So without further then, since I know that the information here is incomplete and most likely I may have to spend a bit more time trying to track down the other notes. I know I've collected a lot of notes on this from day 2 to day 5, but some notes could have been misplaced in my house and I just picked up the wrong one today. So I'm gonna go straight to day 5. Wait, that means I'm done. No, that's a done pile. This is a done pile, sorry. So I'm gonna go straight to day 5. And this is gonna be the last segment then. We'll close out on day 5 then. And then I'll give my final thoughts on the ones that I highlighted. We'll go through the other half of day 2, which I didn't cover today. I'll make it a lot more interactive next time, definitely, without a doubt. First impressions is everything, but you can't impress everybody. So it is what it is. I'm going to have to try and clean this up. I thought I left my job as a cleaner, but evidently not. I'm gonna try and clean this up in the comment section and keep it as coherent, I guess. That's possible. Okay, so day 5. I think this is probably the only part of the stream that is actually going to be concise. Okay, so in a way, thank you for waiting and thank you for understanding. But okay, so day 5. This was when Dr. Mark Chambers, the psychologist, came on to testify, and this is fresh from my memory because I just watched it. So I have a lot to say, and I was impressed with this testimony. But before I go into this, I literally want to say, I feel the pain of jurors, man. Imagine if you have juror that actually takes a lot of notes and is messed up. That could mess up their memory. and if they rely on it. So I guess I see it. I actually see it now. I can't believe I didn't see it before, but I actually see it why they shouldn't rely on their notes and just go off their independent memory. Damn, I actually see that because yeah. But in regards to what's fresh in my mind right now, in regards to testimony, I loved how he came across as credible to me, man. And that guy just seemed like he was just there because he fulfilled the role of an expert witness, because they're there to just educate you so that you know what you're actually trying to, like. 1 second. Okay, just adjust the camera there for a second. One second. Let me adjust the camera one more time. Oh, okay, there you go. That should fix it. Okay, I think I was a bit. Oh, nope. Oh, I need to. Damn it! I didn't have a technical difficulty screen. Sorry. Gosh, this is. I do apologize. This is probably the most unorganized I've been. So I do apologize to this. This is not really how I am, always am. But anyway, let's put that to one side. So he is a clinical psychologist, and his testimony was really important for me in showing you, in showing the role of the expert witness, because I actually understood it from his testimony and the way he testified. He said he will even testify against his employers. And what really made him really credible to me was the fact that he said, if I lose some work, I mean, I've got loads, so I don't mind. To me, he came across as someone that was immensely credible. What also stuck out here was also how they handled how he came about, because I don't think this was like a plan or anything like that. I think because he came about from the defense investigation, so he was already there before the lawyer. So this made him look even more credible in my eyes, because of the fact that the lawyer didn't get a chance to speak to him and taint his opinion. So what he had to say was pretty good. And to me, the way he was explaining and gone on to explain in his direct exam what the concept of guilty conscience is, and separating that from just understanding what behaviors and what the fact that we can only understand behaviors, not thoughts, and really getting that into the jury immediately. I think that was important. He done his job, because end of the day, he's not there to create doubt. I mean, expert witnesses anyway, they're not there to create doubt. It's just, if you're gonna decide this matter, you should consider these factors, and he did that to the T. I love that. I actually love that, because I was like, oh, that's an impartial witness. Let me go into the direct and show my notes. It says here, so he was making a point. Hold up. What I know here was him saying the nuance of him being hired before the. Yeah, I've made that point already. I've made a point about behavior not being a mental process. He made a point in direct saying that behavior is not a mental process, but it was basically a guilty conscience represents your mental process. Rather behaviors would pretty much show this, would pretty much display something different, or a more scientific objective view. I think I remember him saying objective and subjectivity, but I may not have wrote it down. But I think he said something like that. I didn't write it down, but he definitely did say that there is an. Oh, I did write it down. That was in redirect. We're gonna get to it. So let's go to cross. So on cross, I do think that the prosecution didn't do a great job in trying to. It was hard to discredit him, but they didn't even do a great job in at least providing something to like say that, because it was really. I do think it was really important that people do know that Tellez, just because he tried to commit suicide, just because Tellez tried to unalive himself, does not automatically equal guilty conscience. I think that I thought that was smart by the defense to start off with that, because that would have been in a lot of jury's mind. Oh, he must be guilty. He did it. So his breakdown of that was concise. I remember him highlighting just the pure fact that I remember him highlighting the pure. What did he highlight? The prison numbers and the statistics, people that have been going through the system and how they have gone to analyze themselves. I didn't write this down, so this is I need to start doing this more because I like this. I need to start doing this more. But based on my memory, oh damn, I just got distracted. What was I gonna say? Yes. So he was basically drawing a parallel that that when you are in litigation, you're always at risk of suicide, at risk. And he always brought up examples of why this could be. I think the best example he gave, even people that were found not guilty that still committed suicide, and he gave examples of that, is because people didn't like the verdict. I thought that was compelling. And I think even the prosecution took the hat off, because her next response, well, I don't think she took the hat off, but I think she felt really triggered by that, because her next response was like, right, but people with guilty conscience also commit suicide, right? And I thought this was a horrible move, because he just said straight up, yeah, yeah, they do, yeah, they do. He goes on to explain how that happens, and the prosecution let him explain, and you can see there's a part of her face that literally, like, realized I may have messed this up somehow, and and he basically, I believe, if I can remember correctly, his explanation for how it was guilty conscience and how that would be a thing, was how he brought it back to, I think, the concept of, he brought it back to the concept of, if I can remember properly, he brought it back to, I can't remember it. To the figures. I think he brought it back to the figures, to do with the numbers, to do with people that have gone through trial and still unalive themselves even after trial, and just gave more of a theory to bolster it. That's all I remember from that. But on redirect, he did talk about the objective status and the subjective status. So what I remember this to mean was, the objective part would have been the fact that nobody is exempt, basically, from unaliving themselves. They could do it for so many reasons, and I think he really went into depth here, and the way they linked this back to the attempt on Tellez, because they went through and asked, what did you make of it? The attempt on Tellez, though, because he went through the people that have been through litigation, and even after people's verdicts were decided, they still crossed it off. They still crossed it off. So it was interesting. It was really interesting. It was really interesting in the sense that, if I can remember properly, let me think about it. Okay, yeah, it was interesting that he said that, and they transitioned next to the point to be, what did you observe, Tellez, when he was with you? And he reminded jury, I was not looking for the psychology. I think he said, he was not looking for, because he can't read people's minds. It's what he was trying to say by the psychological properties. It's just his behaviors. And, remembered it. It was when he testified and said, and this is when this came out to, anyway, I'll keep it here. It's when he testified and said that even that people with guilty conscience, that when they do try to come to unalive themselves, what tends to happen is that they will feign it. That you will find some parts that is out of that. And when you look at the evidence, now that you heard that testimony, and this is when she knew. Now that you heard that testimony and you look at the evidence, it was actually quite hard to see, because Tellez, he looked real. And to be honest, this came out when the jury asked the question. And it was, oh my gosh, it was amazing. That little part, that memory that I just called back, it was from the jury question. And they asked the question, has anyone in your experience ever attempted suicide or unaliving in the event of being accused to garner sympathy? That's what they asked. And he answered saying that a suicide attempt that failed but feigned. He says that that wasn't present here. And you don't even need him to say that. The evidence says that. So why would he have a guilty conscience? He's actually doing it. So it could be more than guilty conscience. Because he has just confirmed based on the jury's question. And I love that they asked the question because that means they are really believing that he could have been conspired against. And he's not. And he didn't try to do this because he saw that there was overwhelming evidence. Now he puts the ball firmly back, in my opinion, puts it firmly back in the middle and says, basically, it could have been that he was guilty conscience, yes, but we know what happens with people, according to this expert, because he strikes me as someone that is an actual proper expert. You pay me to do a job, I'll do a job. I don't care about that person that I'm to watch. So you decide, basically. So he comes across like that with me. So when I heard that stuck, because I was like, okay, I'm going to use that all the time. I'm literally going to use that all the time. Because end of the day, there's no way he could have got, have the blood and all that if he was feigning. Just no way. So there is a possibility here that he's just discovering that, wow, I'm finished. Now, I don't know when Teya's wife is. So jurors, if you know anything in regards to when Robert Teya saw his wife, and then his wife was also there, because I made that note earlier. Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this back on replay. I think that's it for him. So the last witness was Tracy Magliore, and I think next week is Robert Tellez. So what I'm going to do, let me just go through this, and I'm going to show you what we'll be doing for next week. Okay. So, but let me check the chat quickly. How are you guys doing? Let me know. Are you guys alive in the chat? Are you guys having fun? Let me see the polls. Only one person has voted. No. The person says that they don't want me removed. That's great. I don't want me removed either. I mean, wouldn't be much of a show, would it? But yeah, get your votes in. I want to know, should I stay for those errors, or should I go? Let me know. Okay, so let's go back into the last testimony, and we'll skim through this because I'll be honest, in terms of recalling what she said, I don't know how she ended up in this scenario to link to the guy at the park, but they just went into more detail on this one. I can't remember her day one testimony. I think she was the first one up. Shows you what happens in a long, trials are long, man. So if I can't even remember her day one testimony. So her being recalled now, she had to be on point, and she was. I'm not gonna lie. She foiled the defense plan because I saw them. They were slick. Because remember, they had the psychologist testify. They had a psychologist testify that she think false memories. They had the psychologist testify from the bat that memories are unreliable, that's faulty. And I was thinking, okay, this is routine. This is just routine. So, but then I saw the recall. I was like, oh, that's why you did it. So the recorded witness that saw this person at the thing, and she knocked it out of the park. I'm sorry. The plan failed. I mean, I know what they were doing. I saw what they were doing. The plan failed miserably. But yeah, that's what they were doing. They called her up to try and discredit her with the idea that memory is unreliable. But the first thing that she did immediately was come out and say that yo, I saw this guy at 4:30 on the 28th of August. She gave him an exact time and date. Not only that, she goes on to say, yeah, the guy covered his head completely. He had black gloves and had tennis shoes on, and I after that, you can see how the defense was trying. So, and this is what I'm saying. I gotta admire the defense for how they play on their game, because they didn't even try to trip people up. They didn't even try to like attack people. They just about it. So the next best thing that the guy did, and I picked this up, was how he then goes on and say, okay, why didn't you call him the first time? And then she's like, I was just more worried about the kids. I get it. Why? And plus, why would you call the police on someone that not only can you not identify? I mean, your brain subconsciously, naturally, will just think, yo, the police is not gonna be much help. I didn't even see the guy. If they're not gonna be much help, let me protect my kids. But I was hoping that came out on redirect. Like I would have, if I was a lawyer in this case and I heard that would have been my redirect. It's like, okay, why were you worried about the kids? Why were you worried about the kids? Yeah, because this guy. Okay, were you able to identify the guy? No. So if I was to say that you were more worried about your kids than identifying someone that not even the police could identify first off, and you're not police, I'm guessing. So if that was the case, would you say that this is a likely reason why you just didn't call at the time? It could be speculation. Could be argumentative. I don't know how he's going to get objected to, but I would definitely ask that question and say no further and just end it there. Because that was such an opening. I was like, yeah, because the next thing, the reason why this is an opening is because they went straight to the 7th on direct exam and says, but you called on the 7th, but you called on the 7th, right? He's like, yeah. And the press release was on the 5th. And he's like, yeah. This obviously shows you that the memory might be unreliable because she called 2 days later and also waited a long time. But the damage was done. She knows what she's talking about. And the fact that, and also, we're not dumb. Like, we know, like, there are some things that you just can't forget. I mean, if you see your children scared of someone, well, if you're worried for your children, I feel like that's gonna leave a bigger impression on you. I don't know. It's just like, I'm gonna remember that I was really scared for my kids. I don't know. I think that's just obvious. So I don't think they dealt with this witness well. And in my opinion, I think she came across as reliable. The only issue was that they just couldn't ID Tejas to this guy that she saw. That's the only issue. But she was a really good witness. And I don't know why they call her back up. Because now you're making us think, well, I think, could this guy be Tejas then? I don't know. Why would you call her back up? But I forgot from day one. So maybe she said something that she thought it was Tejas. She probably said that. And maybe that's why you called her back up. I have no idea. So on the cross exam, they went through the details of events. But I missed this part. This part, yeah. Anyway, I did miss this part of testimony. I missed the part of the testimony. This is why I didn't really talk about the cross match, because I missed the part of the testimony about the park, as well as the splash and all of that. I missed it on I drifted. I'm not gonna lie. I drifted at the cross because it was just mundane. I'm like, there's no need to cross this girl. I mean, there's no need to cross this girl. Sorry. Oh, the prosecution changed what I said earlier from redirect to cross. Just that's what I would have focused on. But now you see, now it makes sense what I was saying earlier, because I lost interest. Like, they were not actually saying what they didn't. For me anyway, I don't know. Maybe that was me being too tunnel vision by noticing that little tidbit. But anyway, just to correct myself, there was no redirect corrected, and that was redirect by the defense, because it is the defense case in chief now. The prosecution did rest on day 4, so it is the defense case in chief to present now. So thank you everyone that were here. I appreciate you shooting in the gym with me, because this is amazing. I know it's just 3 of us, but hopefully when people start seeing that I am actually I'm not surprised it's three of us today, and not. I think we hit 7 concurrent viewers, and they dropped off when they realized I wasn't prepared. So I'll take the L for this one. I just wasn't prepared, and some people don't like that, which is fine. I'm not holding against anyone, but next week I'm definitely going to be a lot more prepared. I have literally just come up with an idea now, so I'm going to start doing recap like this format, so that I actually have a fresh knowledge of what happened that day. So whenever the trial, on Monday, so each day now. So for the unintentional juror podcast, it's going to be a bit different now. I am going to be going through this notes, but it's going to be more of just giving my takes on the trial, and that's it. But for the recap, I will actually be it will be like an extension, the unintentional juror recaps. That's what it's going to be called. So it's like an extension of this podcast. So where this episode is episode 9, I would call the recap episode 9.5, for example, so that you know the reference and tying it together, so that you know where to go and look and get my fresh perspective. So of course I can't go back in time and do that, but now that I am on day 5 and I finished day 5 and I'm gonna go to day 6, I'm gonna watch the trial tonight, and I'm gonna go on Monday straight away. I'm gonna go Monday, not 6 p.m. It's going to be 11:30. 11:30 p.m. UK time, which would be 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, or something similar. I will put out the note so that you guys can prepare for the podcast. I will also put this out and make a video so that I can put it on social so that you guys know as well. I am planning to turn this into like a Spotify or Apple podcast. So I think this is a good natural evolution that this demarcation kind of happened, and I think this is good because I was having guests on to discuss cases like this, so it would make more sense to summarize the whole week. Like I mean I've been doing that already, so thanks for this natural idea of just doing the recaps. This I loved it. I love today. Like it's not all bad. It's just not all bad. So let me go back and read the poll. And I appreciate every single one of you, by the way, for actually sticking along. Whoever is still here. So we're now coming to the end of the stream. It's 4 concurrent viewers. A lot of you said no, and I appreciate that. I'm here. If you remove yourself, we wouldn't need to be here. I'm here. If you really need to be here. Thank you so much, Phoebe, for actually being here. I hope to see you tomorrow because I will do a podcast on that. 11:30. I'm not gonna do it live. I'm not gonna be doing. I will do trial watches and the recaps as well. Where on trial, I'll definitely give my commentary, and I will also be making notes. I am working towards that. At the moment, I want to get the content for Dr. Irons correct, and when we get monetized, I'll start doing the trial watch. Honestly, that's just gonna be the case, because there's no way I can do both at the moment. So I need to focus. I want to make money from this. I want this to pay my way. I want this to fund where I need to go. So I have to go back and focus on Dr. Hines for a bit now that I know what I'm doing on this channel. So I'm gonna do just that. But now that I know exactly what I want to do here, yeah, I'm gonna be doing this format. So no trial watches until further notice, basically. Even after getting monetized, like it's a lot of work. So hopefully I may not need to, but let's see. To be honest, I actually want to. I do enjoy trial commentary. I just gotta figure out how to do the two, and not do too much work for myself, because, like I said, that channel, the main channel, I wanna release the videos I've edited, the work I've done on there for you guys. I have neglected my members on that channel for so long, man. They haven't even got any exclusive content for like 4 months now, and I'm so sorry. Like, how you guys are still members is beyond me. So thank you, like legit. I don't care how much you give, like just thank you, for that support. I'll just end it there. I hope that you guys enjoyed the stream today. Let me just deliver the Heinz TLC package. Make sure in the comment section you go back and forth and do so respectfully. Don't be a creep. I keep having to stress this. We don't like creeps. Don't be a creep. Make sure you share this with everyone in your vicinity, everyone that you know. Let them know about the Unintentional Juror podcast that is happening every Sunday from, I repeat, 1 p.m. You tell everyone this, except the scrubs. We don't want them here. We don't do that here. We don't do the scrubs business here. So that's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to leave it now. So take care of yourself. Have a great evening, and bye bye.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The pinky and the brain. Yes, the pinky and the brain. One is a genius, the other is insane. The laboratory mice, the dreams of the twice. The pinky and the brain, 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 brain.
Before each night is done, your plan will be unfurled by the dawning of the sun. And overthrow the earth. The pinky and the brain, 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 brain.
Men. The show is over, but that does not mean that the fun has to end. And I know how cliche that sounds, but really and truly, the fun really does not have to end. You know how good our streams are and how fun they can be. So we have decided to put them all into a podcast and a playlist